Alright, hey guys, how's it going? I'm back with another Destiny 2 video. This one's going to be on a really fun Warlock Strand build I've been messing around with. So let's just jump right into it. We're going to cover the subclass first, and then go into our exotics and mods, and then we'll end with some gameplay. So, for abilities, you can use whatever rift you want, but it seems like most people prefer healing rift unless you're a Starfire Warlock. Jumps, you can use whichever you want. I've always used Burst Glide, it's just what I'm comfortable with. Melee, you have to pick Arcane Needle, but there's some pretty cool things with this melee. So, of course, it unravels the targets, which is a really strong debuff that I think people are underestimating. It's going to do constant damage over time if you're doing damage to an enemy. And then those little needles that shoot out will spread to enemies around them. So by just unraveling one enemy in a group, you'll spread the unravel debuff to everyone in the group, which is really cool. So you want to use this melee almost as like a primer for the unravel instead of using it for damage. So you don't want to be throwing out those really cool hand animations. You want to be holding them for when you're too far away to safely unravel with your other parts in this build. Also, this is going to recharge quicker the more charges of the melee you have. So if you're at 0 charges, it's going to recharge slower than if you're at 2, recharging that last one. So just something to keep in mind. For a grenade, we're going with grapple. I know there's a big build going on with the shackle grenade and consuming that, so you do these shackle suspension AoE blasts, but I feel those blasts are a little short in range and sometimes can just miss enemies. I think the normal shackle grenade is really good, and I've had fun just using that, just throwing the bola, but we're doing something a little bit different here. So we're going to be using the grapple. And the grapple melee is really, really strong. And a really cool thing about it is it counts as a grenade and a melee kill if you get a kill with the grapple melee. So you can spawn 2 orbs with it. It counts for things like Swashbuckler or Adrenaline Junkie. It's a really, really good perk. And it also unravels too. So if you're in a situation where you don't really need an Arcane Needle, but you still want to unravel, just throw out your grapple melee. And you're going to unravel in a big AoE. Blow everything up. Aspects, we're just running the 2 we have to run. Just a thing to note, Mindspun Invocation is going to give your grapple 3 threadlings whenever you do a grapple melee. That just adds on to the damage there. Fragments, we're running Threads of Isolation. Just whenever you have a kind of tanky enemy, we can lay some crits into them and we're going to weaken everything around them. Thread of Warding, picking up an orb of power against Woven Mail. This is about a 40% damage resist, I believe. And we're going to be spawning a ton of orbs, so we're going to have that all the time. Thread of Evolution. Threadlings travel farther and deal additional damage. We're running this mainly for the super, because the super is going to throw out, I think it's like 8 threadlings. So we're adding a lot of damage onto our super with this. I believe it's 30% additional damage for each threadling. So Needlestorm's doing a ton more damage. Feels really, really good if you hit all these needles on an enemy. Then also, our grapple melee spawns those 3 threadlings, so those are going to be doing more too. And then the most important fragment, we've got Thread of Generation. Dealing damage generates grenade energy. And this isn't dependent on how much damage it does, it's just doing damage. So you want to be doing as much damage as possible, as many instances of damage. So really quick firing weapons are going to generate this a lot quicker. So that's what this build is all about. We're going to be running Osteostriga with Necrotic Grips to get that really cool poison combo, so that poison will just spread forever from Osteo. And then our grapple melee will also have Necrotic Grip poison effect. So we're going to be poisoning things, which is going to be ticking the unravel debuff, having those needles shoot out everywhere, and just feels really good. You can clear like whole rooms with just a melee. It feels really nice. For your special or just your energy slot, you can run a bunch of stuff. I've been experimenting with stuff like Trench Barrel or Swashbuckler or Adrenaline Junkie. It feels really good. I'm just messing around with this one because I got a good drop, and it's Void, so you can run Volatile Flow to get these volatile explosions. For heavy, you can run whatever you want. I'm just messing around with the Hothead I got. And then on to mods. I'm just running Heavy Ammo Finder and Heavy Ammo Scout for my teammates with a Kinetic Siphon, so Osteo can produce orbs. For our gloves, we're running heavy-handed, so our grapple melee kills will spawn an orb, and grenade final blows create an orb of power. So we're going to be getting 2 orbs whenever we get a grapple melee kill, or 1 if our melee kills something on direct hit. And we have grenade kickstart just to get that grapple quicker so we can chain it over and over and over. For chest, we're just running resistances. You can slot in whatever you want there. For legs, we're running innervation, invigoration, and absolution, just so we get a bunch of energy for all our abilities whenever we pick up an orb. We're going to be spawning 2 with every melee kill from the grapple, so it just chains and flows really well together. And it's better to stack 3 different ones instead of 3 of like an innervation or invigoration, just because the diminishing returns are so harsh. And also, Kinetic Siphon might be good here for Osteostriga, but I'm not sure exactly if the poison damage is increased. It's been hard to collect data for it. I've tried a few times on bosses, but I just get really inconsistent numbers. So if anyone knows for sure if that poison damage is increased, let me know. And for our bond, we can run kind of whatever. We can do that really cool special finisher, empowered finisher thing to get infinite special ammo. But I'm just running bomber, outreach, and distribution in case somehow we're out of all our melee energy and all our grenade energy. We can pop this and just get a big chunk going. I'll leave you guys with some gameplay. It's a really fun build, ton of fun, and it's not that bad in harder content either. I think it's definitely viable. Hope you guys have a good one. Thanks for watching.